Hey y'all, welcome to the Feeling Station. I am super excited, y'all. It's been an interesting day in the market, but at the end of the day, I like to go and look at some inside day candles to see, help us build a watch list and give us some levels to mark, meaning if it should break beyond this area, then this is our possible target. And if we should break under this area, this is the possible target, right? But let me first give my disclaimer, y'all. I am not a financial advisor. I just enjoy teaching people how to build generational wealth. And yes, the stock market is just one of those avenues. So this video is for educational purposes only. But if you could please like, share, subscribe, y'all. I said often we learn and we grow together. With that being said, let's get started. So our first one, I use inside day candles, and again, it just helps us to see, if it should break this level, then this is the possible target. I explained that a little bit earlier. But so the first one on the list today is Affirm, AFRM. And let's see where those levels are. Again, we're looking at the daily chart. We may look at a different level on Tesla because my daily chart for Tesla is very congested, right? So if Affirm should break above the $86.36 tomorrow, which will be the 7th of July, the possible target is $86.55, not very far away. Now breaking to the downside under $83.49, downside target $82.41. Affirm normally moves $4.29. That is the ATR, which is the average true range for that stock to move, right? So if Affirm is something that you trade, I said often, y'all trade carefully. Why? Because in this market, anything is possible. Nothing is guaranteed, right? So charge point is also on that list as an inside day candle. Now, should we break above the $6.33, the upside target for charge point tomorrow, $6.40, not very far. Now, to the downside, let's say, I'm going to see if we can get those because that's kind of close too, right? So let's just take charge point off the list for right now because that's very, very close. I think the low of this is 582 with the low of this as 582. So charge point is on the list. It did come up as an inside day candle, but we're going to take that one off for right now. Disney is next on the list as an inside day candle. Let's say if by chance, and Disney, I think it's a kind of like a slow mover like Ford in my opinion. If by chance we break above this level 99.47, we have an upside target 99.53. Not very far. Now the downside is a little bit interesting, and y'all may hear my dog Coco in the background. So if by chance Disney break under the 97.02, we have a downside target $95.72. And Disney normally moves about $2.56. Keep in mind, y'all, that could be in either direction. So if Disney is something that you trade, I said often, y'all trade carefully, right? So Devon Energy is next on the list as an inside day candle. If by chance we break above $40.72, we have an upside target of $40.88. I need to correct that. $40.88 is the target for Devon Energy tomorrow on the 8th. I needed to correct that. Okay, now to the downside, if by chance we break under $40.04 for Devon Energy, downside target is $39.58. $39.98. That is the correction, right? So Devon normally moves $1.24. And again, that's in either direction. These are a little smaller in the ATRs, which is okay. Fuel Cell is another one. It does not move but $4.79. That is the ATR, or the average true range for Fuel Cell. And if by chance we break above $31.37, we have an upside target for $32.06. Now back to the downside, under $27.15, we have a downside target of $26.67. So if Fuel Cell is something that you trade, I say trade carefully, right? So Intel is next on the list, INTC. If by chance we break above 127.31, upside target 130.76. Down to the downside, under 121.52, we have a downside target of 117.65. Intel, INTC, normally moves $10.83. That is the ATR, again, average true range for that stock. So that's something that you trade. I say mark your levels and trade carefully, not financial advice, right? So the next one on the list is IP, International Paper. If by chance we break above this level of 38.82, we have an upside target here of 38.91. Not very far, right? But to the downside, if by chance we break under 38.07, downside target 37.75 for International Paper, and it normally moves $1.24. And keep in mind, y'all, that could be in either direction. That's to the upside or to the downside. Now, IWM is next on our list as an inside day candle. If by chance we break above $300.45, we have 302.23 is our target. Now to the downside, under this level $300.41, we have a downside target of 294.88. That's 294.98, correction. 294.98. IWM normally moves $4.97 in either direction. That is the ATR. Again, not financial advice. If IWM is something that you trade, mark your levels, and once it goes against your Y or whatever reason that you got in the trade, I said often, y'all, get out. Live to trade another day. So J&J is next on our list as an inside day candle. If by chance we break above 261.38, we have 263.20 as the target. Now to the downside, under 255.78 for J&J, we have a downside target 253.93. J&J is an inside day candle, and it normally moves about $6.49. That is the ATR. And keep in mind, y'all, that could be in either direction. For those of you that trade the Lucid, it made the list as an inside day candle above $6.79. We have $6.91 as the target. To the downside, under $6.06, we have a downside target for Lucid at $5.97. And keep in mind, Lucid only moves about 49 cents per day. That could be in either direction. So if Lucid is something that you trade carefully. Mara is on the list as an inside day candle. If by chance we break above $13.52, upside target $14.10. Now to the downside, under $12.54 for Mara, the downside target for tomorrow is $11.98. Mara normally moves $1.36 per day, again, in either direction, right? So now we're getting into a little bit of congested, right? Congestion for those charts. And Meta, SPY, Tesla, those are normally, they're going to probably look like this, right? So, but there's a way to look at it. And it works for me. Let's say that, right? So if you're trading Meta under, let's say above 603.58, there's an upside target for Meta, $610. Now to the downside, if by chance we break under this 581.76 here, we have a downside target for Meta at 580.42. Now Meta normally moves about $22.50 per day. Again, y'all, that's in either direction. So if Meta is something that you trade, y'all, I said often, trade carefully, mark your levels. Once it goes against your Y, get out. Not financial advice. And Marvell, MRVL, is next on our list as an inside day candle above 260.31, upside target 275.29. Now to the downside, Marvell under 249.13, we have a downside target 236.95. Marvell normally moves about $27.63. Again, that could be in either direction. So if Marvell is something that you trade, I said often, y'all, trade carefully, right? So MU is on the list as an inside day candle above $1,020.10. The upside target is $1,064.01. Now to the downside, under $980.58. We have a downside target for MU tomorrow at $948.75. That is for July the 8th. So if you are trading MU, Yes, if you're trading MU, I said mark your levels and trade carefully. MU normally moves $106.03 per day, y'all, and that's in either direction. That's something to think about, right? So if you're trading MU, I would say again, trade carefully. Let's see if Netflix was on our list, and it is. Netflix is on the list also as an inside day candle above $77.85. Upside target for Netflix today. We are on Netflix. So above that 77.85, 78.46 is the target. Now to the downside, under 75.70, downside target for Netflix today, 74.87. And when I say today, that means 7.8 tomorrow. Tomorrow, right? So I'm going to say Netflix again. Above 77.85, upside target 78.46. To the downside, under 75.70, downside target 74.87. Netflix normally moves $2.80 per day again in either direction. I am so not used to seeing Netflix like this because before that split, it was in a different area, a different range. It was just different, right? So if you're trading Netflix, I say trade carefully. So NVIDIA is next on our list as an inside day candle above 197.58. We have a $200.08 target for NVIDIA. Under 193.99, downside target 192.35. NVIDIA normally moves $6.34 per day. Again, that could be in either direction. So if NVIDIA is something that you trade, I said often, y'all, trade carefully. Mark your levels, not financial advice, right? So Oracle, ORCL, is also on the list as an inside day candle. So above 145.62, we have an upside target of 147.06. To the downside, if by chance we break under 141.16, we have a downside target for Oracle or ORCL at 138.83. Oracle normally moves about $8.14 per day. That is the ATR, or the average true range for that stock. I say trade carefully if that is something that you trade, right? So I think Plug Power is also an inside day candle. 478 if by chance, and it's not expensive, right? So if we break above $2.73, upside target $2.80. Now to the downside, under $2.58 for PLUG, downside target is $2.51. And y'all, it only moves 19 cents per day, but if that's something that you buy, hey, trade carefully, right? So SoFi, SOFI, is on the list as an inside day candle. Above 1913, we have a upside target 1921, not very far, but that downside is interesting. If we break under the 1831, downside target is 1776, and SoFi normally moves about 95 cents per day. That's interesting, right? So if you're trading SoFi, I said trade carefully, right? T or AT&T is also on our list as an inside day candle. Again, we're just building a watch list. If by chance T or AT&T should break above the $20.91, we have $21 as the target, not very far. Now to the downside, if by chance we break under $20.23, $19.89 is the target for AT&T, or ticker T. And it only moves about 74 cents per day. That is the ATR. And keep in mind, it is in either direction. So, wow. And you're looking at my Tesla charts. I've been charting Tesla for about 4 or 5 years, possibly 6 right now. Tesla is an inside day candle. So let's deal with this, right? I bet you're wondering, how in the world do you see anything? Well, guess what? It works for me. So if by chance Tesla breaks above this 420 area, the target for Tesla on 7/8 is 432.62. Now to the downside, breaking under the 390.50, which was the low for today. 390.50, if we should break that, the downside target for Tesla on tomorrow, which is 7/8, is going to be 389.30. I'm going to say that again. If Tesla should break above $420 tomorrow, the upside target 432.35. To the downside, under 390.50, downside target is the 389.50. 30. So if you're trading Tesla, I said trade carefully. Why? Because Tesla does what Tesla does. It normally moves about $19.73 per day. So if Tesla is something that you trade, y'all, I said again, trade carefully. Z or Zillow is also our last one on our list for an inside day candle. It normally moves about $1.59. That is the ATR. If by chance we break above $33.80, we have $33.96 as the target, not very far to the upside. However, anything is possible, right? So back to the downside, under $32.92, we have a downside target of $32.85. Again, not very far, but if Zillow is something that you trade, I say it often, y'all, trade carefully, mark your levels, and once it goes against your why or your reason for getting in the trade. I like to look at inside day candles. Why? Because it helps to build our watch list, and it kind of gives us a guide as this is possibly, if it should break this level, this is the possible target, or, breaking under this level, this is the possible target. And, I say it often, y'all, in this market, anything is possible. So make sure you understand or know where your levels are. Make sure you mark those levels, and make sure you have the discipline to get out, right? So yeah, I'm super excited. So this is again our inside day candles 4/7/8/2026, and y'all, I'm super excited. So excited. That's the making money, learning how to make money in the market, y'all. And listen, if you could please like, share, subscribe, y'all. I say it so often, we learn and we grow together. So until next time, be blessed as well as a blessing unto others.